Good morning, dear students. My name is Жанабилова, and I'm an English teacher at Nazarbayev Intellectual School of Physics and Mathematics in Astana. Let me introduce a brief welcome to our online course for successful passing of IELTS. Our topic today is Discursive Essay for IELTS Writing Task 2. Today, we will learn to understand what a discursive essay involves. We will also learn types of a discursive essay and identify the format of the essay. Let's begin our lesson. So first of all, could you please answer me the question, what a discursive essay is? Your ideas, please. So, the discursive essay is a piece of formal writing which discusses a particular issue, solution, or problem. What are the types of a discursive essay? As you may know, there are three types of a discursive essay. It is for and against essays, opinion essays, essays for suggestion solutions and to problems. Now please discuss with your partner what can for and against essay include and how it should be written, also about the opinion essay and about the essay suggestion solution to problems. Now let's see. For and against essays. For and against essays present both sides of an issue, discussing points in favor of a particular topic as well as those against. Or it may also discuss the advantages and disadvantages of a particular question. Each point should be supported by justification, examples, and/or reasons. You should also write your own opinion, but only in the final paragraph. As for opinion essays, the opinion essays present the writer's personal opinion concerning the topic, clearly stated and supported by reasons and examples. The opposing viewpoint and reason should be included in a separate paragraph before the conclusion, together with the argument that shows that it is an unconvincing viewpoint. The writer's opinion, it means your own opinion, should be included in the introduction, it summarized or restated in the conclusion. So opinion essays means that you should write your own opinion in the beginning and in the end, and restate it in the end. As for essays suggesting solutions to problems, here you should analyze the problems associated with a particular issue or situation and put forward possible solutions together with any expected results or consequences. Your opinion may be mentioned directly or indirectly in the introduction and in the conclusion, or only in the conclusion. How can we write a discursive essay? Now we will watch a video, and your task is to write out the steps and time necessary for writing stages within your IELTS learning exam. As you remember, you need to spend only 40 minutes for the second task.
This presentation introduces Tutorial 1 of the Yes IELTS course for Writing Task 2. You can find these tutorials and more on www.yesilts.com. I'm going to outline the 5 steps I recommend you take to efficiently manage your time in Task 2 of your IELTS writing test. This presentation is about the argument type essay. The account type essay will be explored in Tutorial 9. Step 1 is to analyse the question. You should spend 1 minute analysing the question, and you should think about 3 things: the type of question, the topic, and the question itself. Remember, in task response, you are graded on your ability to answer the question given, so this is a really important step. First, let's begin with the question type. The words agree or disagree give us a clue that this is an argument type question in which we need to choose one side of an argument and substantiate this with supporting ideas and examples. Next is the topic. And finally, we need to identify the question that we are required to answer. For this argument essay, it is a yes-no question, beginning with the word should. Step 2 is to brainstorm. Strategies for brainstorming are covered in greater depth later on in this tutorial. Spend approximately 2 minutes brainstorming and make 2 lists, both of which answer your question. The first list answers your yes-no question with yes, and the second answers your yes-no question with no. It is important to brainstorm the ideas for both answers. Think about all the ideas you have which are related to this topic and the yes-no question, and quickly note these down. Remember, the examiner is not testing your ideas, but your ability to express them well in English. So here is my yes-no question and my columns for my lists. And this is what is in my head when I'm brainstorming. I pick out the subject areas that relate best to my topic and my question, and I note these ideas down in my lists. Now look at your list with the most ideas. Because you have the most ideas for that list, you will naturally have the most vocabulary, so do take advantage of this. This should be your side of the argument, regardless of how you truly feel, because remember, the examiner is grading your English, not your opinions. The next thing to do is to sort out your brainstormed ideas into main ideas. Think about supporting evidence for each main idea and include explanations and examples if you can. So in this essay, we will have 3 main ideas: patriotism, a necessary holiday, and crowd mentality. Step 3 is to plan. Spend 2 minutes planning your essay. Planning is an important part of coherence and cohesion, which you will be graded on by your examiner. Divide your main ideas into 3 separate paragraphs. Extend your ideas with supporting ideas, evidence and examples, and aim for 5 paragraphs in total. For this presentation, I'm going to focus on the body paragraphs only. Body paragraphs 1 and 2 offer support for the argument. Body paragraph 3 recognizes, yet refutes the alternative viewpoint or opposing side. This makes our argument stronger. Writing a refutation paragraph is covered in Tutorial 4 of this e-learning course. Step 4 is to write your answer. Spend 30 minutes writing. You can pause this presentation if you want to take time to read this essay. Step 5 is to check your writing. This is a very important step, so please don't leave it out. It's okay to cross out or insert new words. The examiner will disregard your crossed out words and will only consider your new words. And it's a good idea to cross out rather than use an eraser, as erasing can take extra time. More information about checking is given in future tutorials of this Yes IELTS course for Task 2. So now it's time to complete the rest of your first tutorial. Thank you for watching and all the very best for your exam success.
So guys, what should a good discursive essay consist of? It should consist of an introductory paragraph in which you clearly state the topic to be discussed, a main body in which points are clearly stated and in separate paragraphs and exemplified or justified, and a concluding paragraph where you will summarize the main points of the essay and in which you will restate your opinion and give a balanced consideration of the topic. As for structure, you may present it in your essay in 2 ways. The first one is usual, introduction, then you write 1 or 2 paragraphs arguing all your 4 points. After that, you will write 1 or 2 paragraphs arguing all your against points. And then you make a conclusion. Or you may write an introduction, 1 or 2 paragraphs arguing your main for and against points and putting forward the counter arguments. Then 1 or 2 paragraphs arguing your secondary for and against points and putting forward your counter arguments, and a conclusion. So it is up to you to choose the structure. So what points should be taken into consideration before you start writing your essay? When considering a topic, bear in mind the discussion clock. This will help you decide on what viewpoints to mention in the essay. Each topic can be seen from various viewpoints. Before writing your discursive essay, decide on the viewpoints you will mention. Keep in mind that you cannot approach a topic through all the aspects presented in the discussion clock. The various aspects illustrated are there to help you plan your essay. Remember that for each viewpoint you have thought of, there is an opposing argument. Think of the opposing arguments while planning your essay. Join the opposing viewpoints with appropriate linking words such as however, on the other hand, on the contrary, and contrary to. Avoid using simplistic words. Instead, use more sophisticated vocabulary. So let's have a look at the discussion clock. In the discursive essay, you should pay attention to such spheres, to the question mentioned and discussed in such spheres as psychology, religion, science, art, economics, education, social science, society, politics, moral, history, geography, and your own personal point of view. So, what should be written in the introduction? Of course, first of all, you should state what you are writing about. You may use such a phrase as, in this essay, I will be discussing the issue of, or refer, and then you refer to the essay title. Then you give a reason why you are writing about this. The subject is very topical and affects many people. After that, state what you are going to do. I will examine arguments for and against this topic and draw a conclusion based on the facts presented. This is your introduction. So, how can we put forward your arguments? Now, please, your ideas. Discuss with your partners. Let's see. So, we may say, people in favor of this question argue that. Or we can say, supporters of this question believe that. Advocates maintain that. Campaigners claim that. Proponents feel that. Those who support this topic suggest that. Pressure groups in favor of agree that. Believers in this topic, followers of this topic, and users of this topic argue, believe, maintain, claim, feel, suggest, or agree. Then, how can we add further information to support your argument? Your ideas, please. Of course, we may use and. And is always used when you want to join two similar ideas. In what other ways can we do it? Could you give me alternative variants? Thank you. Let's see what else we can add to this. Therefore, moreover, also. Apart from that, as a result, accordingly. On top of that, consequently, in addition, thus, furthermore, hence, what is more. Very nice. How can we reformulate our ideas? Of course, we need to use or. When we want to put two different ideas together or reformulate what you have stated earlier. What are the alternatives are? We can say, in other words, to put it more simply, it would be better to say alternatively, or to put it straightforwardly. Next, we are putting forward a contrasting argument. Of course, we need to use but when we need to contrast one statement with another, and some alternatives to it. However, nevertheless, nonetheless, yet, in spite of that, in contrast, on the other hand, despite the fact that, all the same. How to put forward our against arguments. People against argue that. Critics of believe that. Opponents maintain that. Challengers claim that. Campaigners against feel that. The opposed to suggest that. Pressure groups against agree that. Now please compare the two arguments, for and against arguments. What is the difference between them? Yes, the first words. Very nice. How can we introduce our evidence or examples? With such words as this clearly demonstrates that, this illustrates how, there is some clear evidence that, there is mounting evidence that, a recent study found that, research tells us that. Then we need to explain consequences. In which words can you use to do it? Good ideas. Let's see. It happened because of or due to, as a result of or as a consequence of, on account of or in response to, owing to or following on from. Make your own sentences, guys, please. Let's deal with the conclusion. In the conclusion, we need to sum up our main points. Then we should state our point of view. Then we should give our reasons for this and offer a solution if we have any. How can we express our opinion in the conclusion? I agree or disagree with the above statement that, in my opinion, or I believe that, I'm in favor of, I'm against the idea of. It seems to me that, I sympathize with, and here is some more conclusion word bank. To sum up all together, on this basis I can conclude that, given this it can be concluded that, having proved this I would like to, in conclusion I would like to stress that. All in all, I believe that. Ultimately, finally, I would conclude that, as outlined previously or earlier, as previously stated, we could conclude that. So now, guys, our lesson is over. What interesting have you learned today and why? What didn't you like in the lesson and why? So all the material was taken from Evans, Virginia, Successful Writing, and also on the YouTube. All other material presented you can find at our website moodle.nis.edu.kz. Thank you for your attention.